You probably don't even realize it, but there's a silent battle going on in your home every single day. On one side, you've got your comfort system, your furnace and your AC. And on the other, a relentless assault from the environment itself. So what's secretly trying to kill your AC this very moment? The crazy thing is, these forces are super subtle. They work behind the scenes, stressing out all the different parts, wearing things down, long before you have any clue there's a problem. So let's dig in. What are we actually talking about here? And then this happens. It's 95 degrees out and your AC just goes silent. Or it's freezing and the furnace gives up. This is the moment that quiet, unseen battle suddenly becomes very visible, right? That awful silence? That's not just bad luck. It's the sound of your system finally losing the fight, and the fallout landing right in your lap. Okay, so to really get a grip on this fight, let's use a real-world example. We're going to look at Blue Springs, Missouri. Why there? Because honestly, the climate in a place like that is like a proving ground, a gauntlet that every single HVAC system is forced to run, year in and year out. So, antagonist number one, extreme temperatures. This is the big, obvious one, right? When your air conditioner is slugging it out with 95-degree heat for weeks on end, or your furnace is trying to keep you warm when it's in the single digits outside, it's like asking a marathon runner to just sprint the entire race. That kind of extreme, constant demand is what really starts to grind the system down. But wait, it gets worse. It's not just the heat. In a place like Blue Springs, that heat comes with this crushing humidity, sometimes close to 70%. And what that means is your AC suddenly has two full-time jobs. Job one, cool the air. Job two, literally pull tons of water out of that air. This double duty absolutely overworks the compressor, and as a nasty little side effect, it creates a damp, dark environment inside your unit, which, you guessed it, is a perfect breeding ground for mold. All right, here's a bad guy you have probably never even thought of. The actual ground your house is built on. Seriously. The soil in this area is full of clay, and that clay expands when it gets wet and shrinks when it's dry, over and over. That movement, even though it's subtle, can shift your home's foundation just enough to literally pull your ductwork apart, and that creates massive leaks where all your expensive cool air just bleeds out into your attic. And finally, let's talk about the most dramatic villain of all, severe storms. A lightning strike, even one that's not super close, can send a power surge that will instantly fry the sensitive circuit board, the brain of your HVAC. Or think about hail. A bad hailstorm can just batter and flatten those delicate metal fins on your outdoor unit, which basically chokes it and makes it impossible to get rid of heat efficiently. Okay, so we've got all these forces constantly attacking your system. So what's the result? What are the parts that actually break? What are the common casualties in this whole war? This chart really lays it all out. You see how it connects the dots? That summer heat and humidity we were just talking about? That directly leads to things like capacitor and contactor burnout. They're basically electrical starters. The constant vibration from the system running all the time. That's what causes those tiny, super annoying refrigerant leaks at the joints. And those huge temperature swings from summer to winter can physically crack the heat exchanger in your furnace. See? Every environmental attack has a very specific mechanical victim. All right, so you know the enemy, and you know the kind of damage they do. The big question is, what's your strategy? How do you actually fight back? Well, it really boils down to a three-part counteroffensive. So here are your strategic options. Option 1, emergency repair. That's your quick reaction force for when something suddenly breaks. Option 2, preventative maintenance. Think of this as sending out scouts to find and fix problems before they turn into a total disaster. And finally, option 3, system replacement. This is the big one, the strategic call you make when your old unit is just too old or too expensive to keep fixing. So that's the toughest decision, right? Repair or replace. There's actually a great little tool to help you decide. It's called the $5,000 rule. It's super simple. Just take the cost of the repair and multiply it by how old your system is in years. If that number you get is bigger than 5,000, then replacing the whole thing is probably the smarter financial move. It's a great way to avoid throwing good money after bad on a system that's on its last legs. Okay, we've covered the big picture strategy. Now let's get into the nitty-gritty tactics. These are some simple rules you can follow to really give your system a fighting chance in this war. First thing to know, every HVAC system basically has a ticking clock on it. In a tough climate like Missouri's, you're looking at an average lifespan of about 12 to 15 years, and that's with good maintenance. So if your system is getting into that age range, you should already be thinking about a replacement plan, not just waiting for it to die on the hottest day of the year. Okay, this next one is so easy, but it's absolutely critical. It's the 2-foot rule. Your outdoor AC unit has to breathe, right? It sucks in air from the sides to cool itself down. If you let bushes or a fence or anything get closer than 2 feet, you're basically choking it. And doing that can tank its efficiency by up to 30% and puts a huge strain on the compressor, which is the heart of the whole system. Have you ever noticed how your thermostat sometimes makes you wait a few minutes before the AC kicks back on? Well, there's a really important reason for that, and it's called the 3-minute rule. See, when the AC shuts off, the refrigerant pressure inside is super high. It needs about 3 minutes for those pressures to balance out. If you try to force it to restart before that happens, it's like trying to start your car while it's in 5th gear. It puts this incredible damaging stress on the compressor. Let's go back to that $5,000 rule and use a real example to make it stick. Let's say your AC is 15 years old and it needs a $400 repair. Okay, you take $400, multiply it by 15 years, and you get $6,000. Since $6,000 is way more than $5,000, the rule is screaming at you, stop repairing, it's time to replace. Because that $400 repair, it's just a down payment on a bunch of other expensive problems that are right around the corner. So here's the bottom line. This battle we've been talking about, it's happening at your house, right now, whether you can see it or not. So, after all of this, the only question left is your home's comfort system winning its battle?